Hey guys, how are you? Thank you for tuning in. There's been a ton of bad, just terrible information out there on on experts. It just absolutely blows my mind on what advice people are getting today. Let me make sure that you guys can hear me okay. I got a brand new microphone. Hopefully, it sounds a whole lot better than it has been in the past. Been working on this thing. All right, all right. And I've got some, while we're waiting, I got some treks that we could go through. I think I've got 70 treks available. Still got 395 of the big bag, so we can go on the frontier treks if you guys like. But I'm going to start with some of the experts that are so-called out there on YouTube that have done a ton of things, but I collectively have done over 3,000 treks. So I've gone through it a couple of times on three different accounts. On my main, where I'm trying to select the best option, the best choice, and then on my other two accounts, I have been essentially picking what I think was wrong. And some of these things are surprising, where what you think is right actually gives you less rewards. And we'll go through some of those probably as we get to them in the trek. But I'll do a real video on this with all the video editing and making it cool and try to be a little bit more concise on the information that I'm about to give you. But if you guys have questions at all during the show, by all means, go ahead and ask it. But let's go ahead and get started for all eight of you that are online right now. I know that this is a little bit impromptu, but you get some one-on-one attention with me. So once again, I'm Godfather. Nice to see everybody. I hope everybody's well, staying spicy out there. I know that the summer has been excruciatingly hot, so try to stay cool while you're playing Whiteout Survival. But the Experts is brand new. It's been released about a couple of weeks now, and essentially gives you four new kind of stat characters that you can use to help build kind of your preferred method. So you got this little lady right here, Cyrille, who's more focused on bear. You have Agnes, who's more focused on like construction and some quality of life things. You've got Romulus, which is your fourth hero. It just comes out of order when you're clicking next year. But this is like your whale hero. This is your big bad whale metric that you have for this series of things. And then you got Holger, which is mostly arena focused. Now they all give you stuff, so don't discredit anybody else. But like Cyrille gives you troop attack, Agnes gives you troop defense, Romulus gives you lethality and health, and then you've got Holger that gives you attack and defense. These are all good stats. So if you level any one of them, you're not really losing out, but you could pretty much cripple some of your progress, okay? So the very first question that I get from people that are starting out with experts is, how do I unlock my experts? Because you start out with Cyrille. So when you're going through the Tundra treks, and I'm going to be skipping around the screen, so don't mind me, this is all ad-libbed, but the Tundra trek, you're going to unlock Cyrille. You're going to be able to get some intimacy with her, or whatever, like friend characteristic thing that it's being called. So what's it called? They call it relationship advancement. So you can go through all these different levels, but you're inevitably going to get to level 10 fairly quickly. That is going to automatically unlock Agnes. And this is where most people get stuck. They're like, hey, I keep on doing Tundra treks. I spend my 4,000 gems on a daily. I do roughly 70 or so treks a day, and I'm not unlocking anybody. But here's the secret. So if you go to your shop and you go to VIP, if you are level 9 or above, you can pick up the big backpacks. So these frontier supplies allow you to go onto the frontier treks, and this is what you do. You're in here, you've got one or two bags, you go to the frontier trek, okay? And then you're going to assign your expert, and even if they are locked, so they haven't come up randomly for you, you can go ahead and select them, and do 1 or 2 treks on here, and you will have your first encounter. It's not going to give you any level, but that is going to tell the game that you've passed that checkpoint. And I've been able to do this on 4 accounts, so it works. Agnes got to level 20 on one of my accounts. Nobody was unlocking. I used 1 bag. My very first encounter was with the hero that I selected, so we'll just do one right here. And I get an encounter with the individual. Boom, have a conversation with them. Don't get much of anything, and boom, unlocked. And in the very next succession, without having to spend another bag, the next one was unlocked. And this happened on 4 accounts. Some people have told me that they've had to use another big bag doing the same trick, but this essentially kind of like force unlocks them. But I'm telling you right now, there really is no rush to do that. You really just need Holger and you need Cyrille. And I'm going to tell you why here in a second. Okay? So when people are getting advice right now, you're hearing a lot about Agnes for that free-to-play and medium spender player. And I think it's a terrible idea. Just absolutely terrible. Yes, Agnes gives you these pretty cool, hey, I'm going to get these chests from gathering, and they happen all the time. But what you get from these chests is pretty lame. Maybe you get a couple of speed ups, a couple of random things, but it's not worth the level of investment for her. So don't focus on Agnes. You're going to get her by doing regular Tundra treks anyways. I got to level 17 without spending any relationship points. And then I've got the one skill that's quality of life that I think is worth it for her. Okay? So she's not all terrible. But you get 8 of your daily missions, your lighthouse missions, by default. In the very first level, you get 2 more. So if you are one of those folks that are limited on time, you got work, you got kids, you've got events, you've got a life outside the game like I do, sometimes you just can't get to the game and be able to make 2 cycles worth of those daily missions. Sometimes you're trying to slam it in at the very end, and then you can't complete your daily reward. So when you get those 2, guess what? You don't have to wait. Your lighthouse missions automatically get 10 on the very first one. Your daily mission is complete. Bob's your uncle. You can move on with your day with everything else. Okay? So don't ever really spend on Agnes. My recommendation to my team and to everybody that I've been encountering on this, they say, who should I level? It's really tempting to do Cyrille, but then I've got Agnes and I've got Holger and Romulus and all that stuff. And I'm going to just say it straight up, okay? If you are a free-to-play, low-spending player, your number one focus right now should be to max out Cyrille 100%. So some people are saying, and I've spent hours watching some of the expert guides. I think that there's phenomenal YouTube content out there. There's a lot of content creators that are coming up that are doing just great. They're inspecting, they're exploring, they're providing clear information. But I think that they lack some of the battle mech experience to give you good advice to help you in the long term. You're going to feel good about yourself because you got a level 40 Agnes and you got 3 skills unlocked and everything looks pretty cool and you're okay. But at the end of the day, you got nothing, okay? And this is why. Okay. When you look at Cyrille, and the last one doesn't open till casual, 1 affinity, blah, blah, blah. The first one gives you your bear hunt rally capacity. So on the most frequent event in the game, outside of dailies, your bear hunt, which is all about doing more damage, which you can only do a couple of different ways, which is either having a bigger rally, right, in your main rally, or having better gear for your heroes. And we're going to exclude formations and we're going to exclude hero gear, but essentially you've got to have better hero gear, the right heroes, and you got to have a big rally capacity. That's your big rallies. If everybody in your alliance is getting 210, this is what level is this? Level 7, 210, and I believe that it maxes out, let me see, it maxes out at 300,000. So in the stage of the game that we're in, okay, where everybody's got roughly anywhere between 1.3 million in their rally, and then you've got people that are up there, right? 1.5 million unbuffed, done anything. You've got about less than 100,000 people per joiner in your bear trap. And if you're doing full march, this is even more important for you, okay? If you're doing what we do with the 14 joiners, that we have a set joiner cap, so we can get 14 joiners into every one of the rallies, which maximizes the number of stones that everybody in the bear event can actually get. The more troops you can send, the more damage everyone will make. Your rally will do more damage, and the joiners are going to do more damage, which means that you're going to be able to get more damage into the bear event, get more hero stones, get more components, and then, obviously be able to upgrade your hero gear easily. So if you get that, everybody, so if you're just on the number 1 skill, everybody has a 1.5 million rally, for bear or whatever. That means that, minus the 200K or so that the main sends out, you can start looking at 100K joiners and then focus on 13 instead of 14 joining. And if you can go above that, you got 15. So in your big mega whales that are already at 1.5 million with a 250K march, excuse me, or more, okay, you're going to be able to get 100,000 or more troops into that rally. So your main is going to do more damage, and your joiners are going to do more damage. And this is just the first skill. Okay? On the next one, it's all about me, 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 me. So essentially more XP components. So depending on the stage of the game that you're in, you can debate me on this one. For me, the XP components aren't really all that necessary, because I've got quite a fair bit. You can take your greens, you can take your blues, you can take your purples, you can get them, raise what you want. But if you need it, this is a good thing. But you don't really need a whole lot more. Okay? The last one becomes a game changer. So if anybody out there tells me, it's like, oh, but Agnes, you get your mystery badges and you get refreshes and you get this and you get that. I'm going to get to that. I'm going to start comparing these as to why this advice is what it is. So when you look at this one, right, you're going to get an additional, this is at level 3, and you can go up to 5. So you're going to get additional stones every bear. And bears being done 3 times a week, right, depending on your cycle. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, that's 4. But let's just call it 3 times a week. You're getting 9 stones each week on bear. So if you were to look at your bear and you were to tell me it's like 3 stones doesn't sound like much, then I would ask you, why is it that everybody's so worried about doing more and more damage? Okay? In order for you to get 3 more stones than where you are at today, you would have to be an astronomical whale. So if you're in the 4.8, 9.6 billion, to get 3 stones, 3 additional stones per bear, you would need to go 9.6, 19.2, 38 billion. You essentially have to do 38 billion. So if you could do 38 billion by yourself, then you know what? Maybe you don't really need it. But I guarantee you that you're not doing that much. And those 3 stones per bear is a huge difference. You're essentially buying yourself years worth of progression at your current rate with just 1 expert to skill 3, right? I mean, if we could do 5, I mean, go ahead. Tell me. But 3 stones, I would have to be a 38 billion damage whale by myself. And I'm right now, let's see, this one was okay so-so. I'm at 16 to 20 unbuffed. I should have buffed for this one because of Alliance Championship. My bad. Totally forgot about the reset. But look at Cyrille here, who's doing phenomenal. He's a whale, whether he likes it or not. He's doing 20 billion. So he's at the 17 bracket. Those additional 3 stones take him beyond the max that you could get in bear. So even for him, it's money in the bank. Okay? This is going to be perpetual. So follow me here. Everybody in chat, follow me. I don't see any questions right now. No, I'm going on a tangent. But I was lit up this morning when somebody was telling me, he's like, go do Agnes. I was like, I'm going to kill you. So 3 stones 3 times a week is 9. Yes, sometimes you get 4 bears in a week, so that makes it 12. I'm glad that we can all do multiplications and math. I got sandals on today, so I'm able to go up to that high. Don't ask me to go beyond 20. That might be a little bit more complicated. But when you start looking at what Cyrille gives you, for your training time, which time is irreplaceable, okay? You're going to get additional rally cap, which means you're going to do more damage. You're going to get some XP tokens so you can upgrade. You're going to get more stones. And then ultimately, your deployment capacity. So essentially, you as a joiner or you as a main are going to send more troops. This is just a damage multiplier across the board. And Bear's one of those events that when the individual does better, if you set this up right, the whole alliance does better. So if Chizuru is at 20 and he can creep up to 25, 26, 27, you essentially have somebody that is maxing out the number of stones that you can per bear. Then you take those stones and you put them right back into your hero gear, which is going to allow you to do more damage in bear. But hero gear, and this is where I'm going to get to the difference. Okay, everybody follow me so far? Issue with skill 4, you have to do it. Every bear doesn't have, doesn't save as a preset, I think. Maybe. You've got it. Once you have it, you can save it. So you, when you buffed, and I see Princess Sixtoes YUU over here. She's saying issue with skill 4 is you have to do it every bear, so it doesn't save it as a preset, I think. But here's the trick: when you're looking at joining, you're going to have different presets. So let's say you're at 100,000 and you're sending 500 infantry. And don't get me started on the 1 infantry thing, because I've got my options on that. That's also bad information that's out there. It's the answer to a lot of people that have an alliance with a lot of heavy stats. It works there, but most alliances, and this is where I'm recommending, the 1 infantry doesn't work. So that's enough on the tangent on that one. But when you set up your preset as a joiner, you can set it up to whatever you want because it's under your rally capacity. So that 3,000, maybe whatever you're adding onto it, will save. So if the question is mainly around your main, when you buff to do bear, so let's say that this is after SVS like we do, and you're going to test out your new benchmark, see where you're hitting, kind of get some new personal bests, etc. You can go ahead and set your preset. When you are less than that preset, it'll give you the max that you can. So I'm storing it at 20, 20 capacity boost and my pets. So that gives you whatever, 200,000 plus. And then now I'm not running my 20% boost. It's going to give me whatever I have in pets plus the 3,000 or so expert. And it's going to give you the best of what you can. So you really don't have to change it unless you're really trying to min-max those ratios. So like you perfectly have to set your Lancer, and you perfectly have to set your marksman or whatever you want to do to that. That's the only case where that goes. All right. So when people start asking about Agnes, and I'm still focusing on Agnes versus Cyrille, Agnes is going to give you that 2 extra intel. And I think that everybody should get this. Is super easy. You don't have to spend hardly anything of anything at all. You just learn. I think it's like 2 hours worth of learning, and you get it. I recommend it for everyone, especially if you're short on time like I am. Do that. It's going to save you some headaches and some heartburn later on down the line. When you look at Chief Stamina, hey, every time that your Lighthouse, and I think it's 2 or 3 times, you're getting 10 stamina. In most days, you don't need that stamina. It goes wasted. Unless you're purposely sending a rally just in order to keep it under. But then again, you're not looking at being limited on time. You're looking at being on top of it and gaining whatever you can with potentially 30 more stamina per day. That's 1 rally. Think about that. You just spend all that time that you don't get back. You spend whatever tokens to get it, and you got 1 extra rally a day. I don't think it's worth it at all. So we go to the next one. Agnes speeds up construction by 2 hours on every new build. If you are low level and you're going to save 2 hours, you're essentially saving 120 minutes that you get on the dailies. Just about, you may not get 120, but you're getting considerable amounts. You are leveling up in terms of days. And if you're doing construction like to FC10, you're looking at lots of days. So every time that I'm hitting it, I'm doing 2 hours. So every little, micro section from FC1 above, I think it's like 4 or 5 of them or whatnot, you're saving 2 hours, you're saving 10 hours potentially there, to a most of 8 hours per event. That's not a lot. So at most, let's say that it's 5. At 8, it's 40. You're looking at about almost 2 days worth of savings. Not worth it again. And it's a level 3 skill. Level 4, this is the one that I was talking to Lilu this morning, and we're just, healthy debate, nothing personal, right? Mystery badges help you get hero widgets. And I was like, yeah, they absolutely do. But if you're buying your widgets from the mystery shop, that's another conversation, okay? So even for a free-to-play player, when you're saving those mystery badges, you're saving them long-term. When you're getting this, and we're going to look at max, you can get 120 every day. So this doesn't happen on every daily mission that you complete. This happens when you complete them all. So I'm going to test this again tomorrow. This morning, I went against my better judgment and said, I'm going to prove my point. I went through and I upgraded Anchorman to level 4, and I got some, whatever I did, I got some converted knowledge. I finished one, got my little mystery badges. No worries, okay? So before I continue, I just want to say, hey, thank you guys for joining. We've got roughly 20 or so people on. I appreciate you. Thank you so very much. Zach, Lifting Chick, Six Toes. I see Jazz. Thank you so much for joining. Payne from Portugal. Appreciate you, man. Thank you guys for joining. If you guys got questions as I'm going through this rant, go ahead and ask. And I promise I keep on looking at the screen to see if there's any questions that I can answer as I go. All right. So back to this. So if I'm going to take my mystery badge and I'm going to get 20, let's be generous. Let's say that you go all out. You're going to get 120 a day. All right? So that's 600 tokens a week. That's 1,200 every 2 weeks. That's 2,400 every month. So in 1 month, you got 2,400 tokens. All right? Let's see what else I get. You get to, upon daily mission completion, and 1 more free refreshes at the mystery shop. And then I can do up to 4. All right, so this is what they're talking about. I'm going to go here, go to my shop, I'm going to go to my mystery shop. This is the widget that they're talking about. If you don't have a deal going, like you don't have a 50%er, right? This is the beautiful thing about streaming from home, is that you get your beautiful wife provide refreshments while you're going through. I can't live without coffee. And I just noticed, and nobody even told me, my chat on on here is vertical. It's like chatting sideways outside of the screen. I just noticed that. I'll fix that later. I'm not a big live, but it's all good. Maybe you can look at your screen sideways, or when you're vertical, watching it a different way, you're good to go. Nobody told me that. I guess I think Lifting Chick says it best. Is like, why do you need enemies when Bug roasts you every day? It's gonna bother me now, but I'm not gonna fix it. Getting back to this. All right. So you get 2,400. So you got 120 every day that you finish your daily missions. Okay. So 120 every day times 7, and I did my math wrong there. Let's just go ahead and pull out my calculator. So 120 per day, and you're doing this 7 days a week because you guys don't have a life. You guys log on all the time, and let's say 4 weeks a month. So you get 3,360 in 1 month. So you get 5 widgets on this 2,500. Okay. You get 3 additional refreshes. So maybe you get lucky and you get them at 50%. Yes, that's good. But it took you a month to get 5 widgets out of the 250 that you need to really make a difference by maxing out any one hero. Now, here's the kicker. Okay? You're like, well, over time, I'm going to be able to save enough to get my max widget, and I can get my hero to 100%. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. You can definitely save it to 100%. But here's the problem. Heroes decay. Every 90 or so days, you're going to get a new generation. So by the time that 3 months go by and you get 15 of these widgets, that generation's already bust. Maybe you focused on the right hero. So you're going to focus on Bradley in Generation 7 because he does really good bear damage and he's got a shelf life all the way through Generation 10. Yeah, absolutely. You're going to do good. You're not going to be able to max them, but you got it for free. But you gave up doing all that work for Cyrille to get bear damage, get stones, get everything else that you need, get your components, get your hero gear, which is perpetual, to 100%. Hey, and Luffy, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Jollibee Luffy. You guys may remember him being showcased in one of our previous Foundry videos. I'll say it time and time again. Really appreciate his company. The guy's awesome. He's from 1123, currently sitting in SVG Alliance. Fortunate enough to have faced them in Foundry a couple of weeks back. Had an absolute blast talking to him. And if Harzinger and anybody else from DTS in 1123, when Jollibee eventually wants to come over to the state, he's got the pass. I mean, that's just a given. So keep him happy, or I'll do that for you. And I'm not joking. All right, so back to this. Got 25. You get saved. The heroes deprecate. The shelf life is gone, and now you're talking about to having maxed Agnes all the way in order to get that benefit, and you're probably not going to do that. So if that is your best case scenario, you're well far behind that. Agnes is good. You get defensive stats, which you do need for fighting, but there's a better option. So we've already covered that you need to get Cyrille to your top spot. My recommendation for your number 2 spot, especially for your free-to-play, and I'm going to cover whale talk, so I'll talk like Dory from Finding Nemo here in a second. But Holger is a very, very good option as your second opinion, as your second option, your second hero. Get Cyrille maxed. Get that most frequent event to give you as many rewards as possible. Bear, to me, still today, after a year plus of playing this game, is still fun to me. So I can't say that about a lot of other events. All right, so Holger is the arena hero. And his stats are pretty good, both attack and defense. He's a little bit harder to scale up. Not as much as Romulus, but he's a little bit harder because he's the third hero. On your very first one, your arena heroes gain attack and health by 4%. The only other way of getting that same stat in arena today is by leveling up your hero gear. You don't get that anyplace else. So you can't buff for arena. You could potentially change your hero composition, but most likely you're running latest gen. Unless you're in the upper echelon of fully maxed everything, then you're really getting into hero composition for arena. And that becomes a little bit dicey because it's player by player and you don't have enough time. Let's just call it that you're going latest hero gen. Okay. Let's see. It'd be 12, 5 days with max skill only. Is that what Burbs is saying? Burbs, what are you saying there? 12, 5 days with max skill only for 5 chests. What are you talking about that one? Yeah. Brad says hero gear better, greater than hero widgets, 100%. Always. All right. So I know that there's a delay with the live, right, from what I say to when you guys can actually see it. So I'll wait for Burbs to come back. Yeah, I don't forget we're Payne's from Portugal. No, and you have the Portuguese definite attitude for sure. It's a good thing. Go Ronaldo, but still. With the extra badges, 200 tokens is 12.5 days for 5 widget chests. Yeah, same math, right? So, like I said, you could get 25, you could get a couple of them. It's either way. All right, so Holger. So, from your very first skill, you're getting a stat that you can't get other than upgrading your hero gear. Hero gear gets very difficult to upgrade because of mithril, more specifically than not. So you could definitely do other things in order to improve your stats on your hero gear, But most people are always going to be mithril dependent, and mithril doesn't show up everywhere. You can get it from arena, right? Do better in arena, get more points, get over, get into the top 100. You get more points, get into the top 10. You get more points, get top 1. You get the most points, etc., etc. But most people can only buy one of the Mythic Hero Gear chests every 2 to 3 weeks, potentially. So that's 12,000 points. And then you can buy up to 3 mithril per week in arena. So you're now you're doubling down. You got your Cyrille giving you a lot of stones. That'll help you with your hero gear. That will help you in the performance in arena. That will now get Holger to help you even more in arena to focus on the next part. Holger Classic Crowd Pleaser increases both daily and weekly arena tokens earned by 5%. So, pretty good deal. Somebody can tell me what arena tokens? That's not whale speak. I'll go back and... Oh, yeah, that's right. So this is the number of tokens that you get in order to spend in the shop. All right, so now you're going to get 5% more of those tokens to spend in the shop, which will now allow you to get that mithril so you can upgrade that hero gear. See the pattern? I don't know if I'm making this very obvious, but see the pattern there? Okay, so on the third skill, on top of all that, now you get a 5% discount. So in the most difficult thing that you can get, costly, it's about $5 or $5 worth of frost stars to get mithril that you need in order to get to your maxing 100. Instead of that, you could be leveling up to level 20, which you're going to need to anyways for your gear. So you can start bolstering your hero gear to level 20 prior to getting enough mithril, but your arena power and ranking is going to go higher because you've got this cumulative effect of being able to do better. Okay? And then finally, but not least, you get an additional 2% additional attack and health in arena. So you're getting it by, basic stats. So you're getting attack and defense all the way up to whatever he's going to be. So you can get 6.6. And then on the skills, you can get all the way an additional 20%. So you're looking up, and I don't know if this is additive or cumulative. So I don't know if you're taking base times 6, base plus 6% plus 20% on top of that, or if you're doing base plus 26%. The math is a little bit different, but either way, it's good. So you're now getting the most that you can do for arena. So Joe G, thanks, Burbs. You're the best. I'm just joiner. Yeah, okay. So Joe G, who a longtime friend, part of the Jaballeros clan. If you don't know Joe G, go check her out. I think that she's got a platform page someplace that you can go see. Okay, so let's see what Burbs is saying. Burbs is saying, Ramen, you can be free to play joiner. You won't be the first line, but spending, it's not always necessary. Let me see where that question is right here. Don't play this game if you don't want to spend money. Otherwise, are playing and you just wait and watch. Okay, I'm gonna pin this here for a second. I'm gonna talk to you specifically, Ramen. There's a really big misconception on spending money in the game. There are definitely 2 types of players. I'm going to say 3 types of players. You've got your big whales that are not very smart, but they're very good at swiping credit cards. Okay? You've got your smart whales like myself that have played very similar games to this before and understand the game mechanics behind compound interest of activity. So I spent some money in the very beginning of the game, got to VIP 12, and then started steamrolling a lot of it because I was able to get first place in events. I was able to participate and get higher bears. So I have got the pleasure of time backing me up. So I hardly spend any money. So most of the money that I spend on here comes from Frost Stars, or it comes from some other contributions that I get from doing things like this YouTube as an example. But coming out of my pocket, I'm a father, family of 4. I know where that goes, and that money is better placed elsewhere. Those big whales that want to be the number one of everything will spend. There's whales that don't have to. There are still viable counters, rally leads, very respectable. but none of those whales can win a battle by themselves. Foundry is an exception. But if you've got a good team, like we do in Bug as an example, where everybody's contributing, joiners are actually more important than the whale. Because whales you're going to find everywhere. But good quality joiners that have focused their T11 upgrades, their FC upgrades, that give them that quality of robustness for either attacking or defense, that's huge. And you don't have to spend much, if any, money at all. And this is where most of my advice comes in, is that being a smart player will be well over any whale. Because at the end of the day, that whale can give you grief for most of a month, and then they disappear. And then you don't even have to bother with them anymore. All right, so back to this. So everybody now knows my recommendations. If you're free to play, mid-spender, Cyrille. I will upgrade Cyrille. She's currently at level 39. I have spent a little bit on her with gifts and stuff as I've been exploring. I went with her because I knew it was a sure bet. And then I started focusing elsewhere. So I'm going to give you some advice for the heavyweights that are out there. So like Red and Joe G and Keen and Odin and a couple of other folks that are tuned in right now, right? Cyrille is amazing for the same reason that you can max out, but I would only get her up to giving me enough stones to max out the event, right? Because I don't need that many stones, personally speaking. I do need stones to get him to level 20, but getting 3 or 4 instead of all 5 at the same time is okay. Romulus is where you want to be spending most, if not all, of your effort as a lead. If you are a lead, if you're a whale, if you're attacking castle, if you're participating in Frost Dragon Tyrant, if you're participating as the big whale in your alliance in whatever event, you're always going to be looking at 1 or 2 stats. You're going to be looking at your lethality and your health. Still to this day, it's almost 600 days into the game, lethality and health is still king in the stat department. And this is a very easy way, as compared to getting it from island or pets, to get the stat. Okay? Let me close that off. Let me see. And you get up to 8.8%. As a comparison, 8.8% in island, you don't get that. There really is no way other than spending frost stars in order to get those lighthouse and the big dock that's available now in order to do so. And if it's pets, it's once again very random, right? Sometimes you're going to get the stat that you want, sometimes you don't. If you've kind of looked at like the Frost Dragon Tyrant Part 2 that I just released yesterday, if you check that out, you're going to see me that I focus on a single stat. I've been doing that for a long time. I think that it's now catching wind, but if you go back and you type best way of upgrading pets, you're going to see that there's a bunch of new videos out there for that, like in the past couple of months. But there's a couple of videos, I think it's like the Bash Brothers or something, that are like from a year ago, and I think it's like a poor quality made video. The guy was telling the same thing, right? So it's not a new strategy, it's just kind of made new for some. All right, so Romulus here is going to give you that lethality boost. This is your rally lead. This is your in the world, in every event stat type of hero. And you're going to want, obviously, all the skills. But you get, the first skill is like, get 150 free troops. That's very much nothing. You can get up to 600, which is a little bit more. I'm going to be excited to see if actually this contributes towards points in SVS, because, hey, it's free points. That's always good. The next skill is a troop attack and defense. You can get that from Holger already. So instead of spending learning points here, I would definitely spend on leveling up Holger over there. But then this is where it gets juicy, because now on top of the 8.8 max that you can get from just leveling Romulus to 100, you've got his third skill that allows you to get an additional 10%. So you're looking at almost 19% of lethality and health from a relatively easy method of doing so. And then the final skill is your rally capacity. So, I mean, as people get bigger, the bigger rally, the better. As you get to the next milestone of FC10, Charm 16, before the new Chief Gear, before the new 12s, all that different stuff. The only difference is your joiner rally composition, right? The heroes that you're using and the number of troops. So the more troops that you can have, the better. And another 100,000 is not you can't get that anyplace else. So by far, Romulus is the way to be. That's the king. I spent all my learning on here. And here's a tip about learning. When you max out a learning, like you see this one here, you can continue to learn beyond that point. So just because it's there, you don't have to upgrade that skill. I'm waiting till prep in order to do so. But I'm just doing 23-hour sessions of learning on Romulus to get my lethality and my health up. And that's accounting for all troops. Mang and Salas changing my mind on that. What's up, Chizu? All right, so any questions whatsoever on experts? I've kind of gone on my rant. I've almost not even taken a sip of my coffee to talk about this to you. But we'll go through that. I know nothing about experts. Ciao. All right, so Trek. I got 70 on here, so we'll go ahead and do some of that while I look at the chat. Let's see what we got here. Luffy's the crispy whale here. Hey, is that Dan? Oh, it's Rash. Hey, Rash. Good to see you, man. We miss you too. We're waiting for you to come back sometime soon. I hope that the clinic is going well. Not the rehab clinic, the other one, the one that you work in. Okay. So I've got a video that'll be coming out it'll kind of summarize this rant that I've been on my recommendations, what to do. Obviously, I'm not going to give that much detail in terms of the whys. It just makes it very long. But I will give you all the right answers to these things. Like, hey, charge in, use your wit, charge in. Okay, get 50 as opposed to 40. And then we'll just keep on going through that. Next week you come back. Sigils and XP priority. Oh, that's a good one. Let me turn off the auto. Let me do this one here. I'll do that. Look at that. I got Cyrille again. Yay! More Cyrille. 50. 50 XP. All right. Sigils. Okay. So, Jollibee. Talk about sigils and XP. So I think that you're referring to XP like this affinity. Okay, so this is how close you are, and you can get to max 100 where you're intimate with that hero, with that expert rather. So when there's two ways of doing that. You can either gift. So I've got a few gifts. I got 4,600 compasses. 886 of these fiery heart, and then 104 of these guys over here. So if you quick select, it'll go one level at a time, which is pretty useful. So if I were to quick select her right now, it's just going to, well, not that one. If I were to quick select here, it's just going to use the 8 that I would need in order to get to that. So I recommend that instead of trying to do the math yourself. But you go after, once again, the same priority. So free to play, mid-low player, Cyrille 100% of the way. Spend everything that you have on her. Maybe you want to do Agnes like I recommended for that first tier. I think it's like level 10 to unlock that first skill, just so you can get those 2 additional lighthouse missions, which allows you to complete that one daily task in one go, as opposed to having to log back into the game hours later in order to get that done. It does give you maybe a couple of extra fire crystals, maybe a couple of extra things that you may need, so go with that. So the gifting is the only way to really level them up. Focus on your primary hero. So if you are wailing out, you are the rally lead, you are the bee's knees in your alliance, and you want to stay ultra competitive with everybody else that's out there, go with Romulus 100%. Dump it all on him. He is the most expensive. Once you get him to 100, go back to Cyrille, and Bob's your uncle. I mean, you're good on that. What the other question was on the, what was it, Jollibee? Yeah, this one right here. Replace pin message. Yeah. So that's where you want to spend that. The sigils that you're asking about come like this. So when you want to advance the relationship with an expert, you got to use these sigils. All right. So this is where I believe that most of the advice is coming from, because sigils are not that frequent to get. Even when you're doing the Tundra Trek or you're doing the Frontier Trek, sigils don't come that often. If you're doing like the Dig mission, or you're doing the Ultra Luck with the Snowmen, or the Mia's spinning wheel or something like that, you can get a few more of those, but they come pretty infrequently. Most of these come from the dailies or from the shop, and I'll show you. Right. Somewhere around here. Where did I miss it? I missed it. Where'd it go? Mystery shop. Where is it? Oh, it's not on this one. Not the shop. It's the events. Right. Hold on. I only got one more place to click anyways. There we go. Endless Wayfare. So this one. If there's anything that you want to use your frost stars on, are these two things. So these sigils come very infrequently. So after doing over like 3,000 treks or whatnot in my free-to-play accounts that I can show you, you don't get many of those, so it becomes very scarce. So this is where you want to focus in on one hero. Don't. It's just like everything else in the game. The broader you go, the less effective it will be. You want to focus on one thing, finish the one thing, and then move on to the other one. Don't get tempted, right? If you're going to focus on Cyrille like I'm advising, just keep your blinders on about everything else. Don't think that you're going to get one extra widget or one extra stone someplace, or one extra chest, or no, don't do that. It's fake advancement. Focus in on one, get it all the way to the end, then move on to the next. So these help out a ton. And unlike any other event that's out there, you guys listening to this one, and show me, give me a heart or a fire emoji if you guys have maxed this out already. Have you guys gotten to the end? I want to ask you a question. Have you guys gotten to the end over here when you get to the next supply? Okay. So, okay. And I'm going to show you this when we go through the Tundra Treks. Out of every event that's out there, usually when you get to the end, you get terrible stuff. You get like some gems, and you get some, whatever about it. This is the only event, or the only thing that actually gives good rewards when you max it out. I was super surprised. The game doesn't do that. Usually they give you like, hey, congratulations, you got to the end. And then they just kind of give you some junk. Like, hey, here's some resources, or here's some gems. This actually gives you legit good stuff. And you got the opportunity to get even better. You can get up to ships and stuff for that. So highly recommend it. Well worth it. And on the dailies, I know that it's 4K gems, but if you can afford the 4K gems with your rate of involvement and play and other event rewards that give you gems, if you can get that, you're good. Daily hero expert chests are meh. They're not that great. Let me see if I got some. You guys are gonna get my. I'm gonna flash my bag here really quick. Do I have any? Okay, I do have one. I got these. I usually open them. This isn't it. This is a mobilization one. All right. So you get to have some mythic hero shards, essence stones, and other rewards. So this is your percentage. So this is Holgarth. They're pretty good. You don't get that many, and you get a chance to get them. So like I think it starts at like 50% or 55%, and it goes to 60. But you get a chance to get these chests from participating in arena, which means that if you want to maximize your chest, you got to do 10, which means that you're spending 2,100 gems in order to do that. So there's a there's a give and take. But, you know, you don't get much. Widget, widget, some speeds, some speeds, some speeds. Oh, I got 1 stone. That's not bad. And some speeds. So out of all that, I got speeds. I mean, it's really not worth it. You get a chance for something, but and Agnes's ones are even worse. Yep. The Alliance Championship shop, definitely recommend it. Let's see this moves. Alliance Championship. You get books that you absolutely need to get, and you get your common expert sigils. You want to get these every week. Every time. This is your #1 buy right now. And then your ask is like, oh, why is Godfather buying polishing solutions? Well, because I know that the next generation of Chief Gear is coming out. I'm buying polishing solutions so I can do the following. Polishing solution, gear enhancement, trade, and then I will trade my polishing solution for design plans and my design plans for Lunar Ember. So that way, once it becomes available, I don't need any more Lunar Ember, and I don't have to spend any Frost Stars on it. See? Smart. Yeah, exactly. So I already have enough for, I think that I have pretty close, or I have enough Lunar Ember for the next generation of Chief Gear. So didn't have to spend anything. But, ooh, I hit the wrong thing. Did I hit the right thing? More cooking. Hold on, I don't know if I did the right thing. Hold on. Yeah, we already covered that. The Frontier supply box. Yeah, okay, good. Don't do the auto decision making. Like, not worth it. Challenge him to a duel. A 100 books. And I'll go through all these and I'll give you all the answers in the guide. All right, so any questions that are out there? We got the sigils. Yeah, I know. But I was working on Frost Dragon Part 2, and all that AI stuff and the storyline takes a long time. I think for the people that have seen it, or that kind of saw me working on it, I spent over, I want to say, close to like 40 plus hours of video editing and AI generation and voiceover stuff. And there was like it was at least like 400 edits in the video itself in order to make it work. That includes the audio from like hearing the Godfather's footsteps as they're walking up to the table, cutting out the bloopers, all that stuff. So that takes a whole lot more time than doing a live. Absolutely. It takes a whole lot more time than just about any other video that's out there. If you do the auto answer for me, it sometimes won't pick the right one. It'll pick you like the goody two shoe stuff. But like we'll get to one that'll be like, hey, you found supplies, keep them or share them with them. If you keep them, you get more, but there's no penalty. You know what I mean? Like, might as well. The other one's like haggle or pay full price. I think of this one right here. Haggle or pay full price. Most people click on haggle, and if you haggle, you get it at a cheaper price, but you get lesser. You get less rewards. You pay full price, you get 20. You haggle, you get 10. Yeah, auto does not cook the food. And look at Agnes. Start digging. Okay, digging. Check this out. So after all the times that I've done it, there are really 2 patterns. This is the one that I start with first. Every single time. For the countless times. When I start on this block, I, like 99% of the time, I hit it. So now it's a 50-50. All right, chat. Do I click on the left or do I click on the right? The choice matters. First one, left or right? Left or right? Right, all right. Oh, nice. Boom. So when you get these, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, and hopefully it does it. When you get it right, so you spend the least amount of digs, you get twice the reward. So instead of getting one sigil, I got two. So it matters. All right, Holger. So once you, like I said earlier, use the little bag trick, right? Use your, if you're VIP 9, you can get it. If not, you got to wait. You know, have an interaction with with the heroes that you haven't unlocked, and then you should be good. Oh, I totally missed. Which one? All right, which one is it? Left, right, middle? I think it's middle. Oh, I messed up. I missed which one I was looking at. That's unfortunate. I missed out on the ship. Ultimate luck. Ooh. Shall we break open or disarm? Disarm. All right, guys. Well, what questions do you guys have? Oh, perfect. It's done here. I'm gonna show you now. I'm gonna do one more. I'm gonna wrap these up, and then we're gonna open these the endless Voyager thing here, the one with the motorcycle. Know these almost by instinct now. Yeah. Oh yeah. Get some great advice from people as I'm editing. Makes it look really cool. Perfect. More Holger. Suggest flanking. 100. Yep. So we got all that dig. Oh, let's see. Is this the big one? Hopefully it's the big one. All right. Same thing. Start on that one. And I guarantee it's the same thing. Boom. Same. Boom. Ooh, got a good one. Got charm packs. Luffy, are you still on? Yeah. How close are you for charm 16? Hi, Lena. See, if you use your wits, you get 40. If you charge in, you get 50. Yeah, don't we all? I'm close. Yeah. There's nothing. It's like mithril. Nothing in the game gives you secrets at this point, other than participation into some very very big events like Frost Dragon. Any info on the video a dev put up at the 6 different versions of close? Zach, so man, that's been going like wildfire. I kind of, it hurts to see that, to be quite honest. The way that I understand it, so the videos that you've seen out there, and I got my hands on the video of the leak. I've got to put a short out on it, so everybody's got it on my channel as well. But the way that I understand it's this, and this is really cool. So it actually helps support what we've been talking about. That it's as important to be a good joiner than it is to be a whale. Okay, it's going to cost VIP points, obviously. What we don't know if it's a spinning wheel kind of puzzle piece put together, or if it's just going to be a flat cost, because there's 6 different versions of that. and there's no information on whether you get all 6 when you achieve the big thing, and then they give different stats on their effect, or you get 1 at a time. So there, I think it's super cool for 2 reasons. Number one, the skins look amazing. They are by far gorgeous, and I think that if I were to go back, I can actually show you here. Let me do this, and I'll play that there. Okay. So I got 2 chests. You get it every 30 or so when you're maxed out. But look at the rewards, right? You get learning speeds, you get books, and you get your fiery hearts for it. These are actually really good, right? I mean, you're getting essentially what you get from everything else, and it takes a little bit less to get it. Usually you get gems and stuff, so that's very good value for it. If you're a free to play and you do this daily, I think it's like 60 to 70, if not more, day. What is it? There's 2 resets a day for 10, so that's 20, and then you get another 20, so it's 40 a day that you can do, right? I think the math works out there. But you can max this out by the end of the week. By the time that you're done and you continue on a daily basis, you get good rewards for it. So for those of you that can spare the frost stars, get both of them for all the sigils. Very well worth it, 100%. All right, let me see if I can do this. Keen sent it to me today. Keen, did you send it to me on Discord or in game? Is it on Discord or in game? Ah, yeah, it's Discord right here. There we are. Let me see if I can open that up someplace. Oh, darn it. Oh, that's right. This Google Play doesn't allow me to copy and paste out of the game. Oh, that sucks. See if I can go back to it real quick. Advice. Where is it? There it is. Let's see if I can do this right. Survival. S21P dig 468. So let me see if I got it. Oh yeah, I did get it. Perfect. All right, let's see if I can switch this up. Give me 1 second. Stand by. See if I can get this added here. See if I can zoom that up. Does that work? Yeah. All right. We're back. So this is what he's talking about, this globe skin right here. All these globes that are just absolutely stunning. From what we understand so far is that this is on the Chinese server. And there's more videos available. No, this isn't it. Let's see if I can find it real quick. This one right here. Yeah, this one. Can you guys see that? There we go. So what we know so far is that this is available on the Chinese servers. From this one video that I've been looking at and whatever's been on Reddit and stuff. So kudos to all the people that leaked this. This is really, really cool. It gives an area of effect bonus. So look at that. It highlights it right here. So he has no bonus. And then when he went back into it, you could see that he was given that. Oh, let me see if I can go back. I can pause this. All right, look at that. Defender troops attack when defending own city, 5%. When defending own city. Troops defense, 5%. Training speed, or this is from something else, I'm sure. But in the domain, this is the benefit that they're getting. So this is going to be definitely a Frost Dragon Tyrant SVS. Like, getting an area of effect that benefits people is just absolutely wild. 39 billion power. That's astronomical. His own protection, 30 and 30. Training speed, resource gathering speed. Don't know where he's getting that from. This to me right here is wild. Look at that. So this is what gets me thinking. It's like there's 6 different versions, right? There's that old gold one. You've got all these different ones with different hues on there, and you can select which globe skin to get. So I'm assuming that you're going to need the globe skin to begin with. So that'll unlock this ability, this thing, and then and this is why I think that it could be that you get one, and then you have all those options. So when you see the picture of this skin right here, it's only one. There's not 6 skins. So I think that there's definitely something. Look at that. Domain bonus. Activated upon obtaining. Allies within 6 tiles of the city can enjoy the domain bonus. Defender troops attack when defending own city, 30%. Oh, it does give you training speed and resource gathering speed. So like this is awesome. Like, if you see a globe skin, just run. Like, I mean, you just quit right there. Sign off. Save yourself the time, because that's gonna be absolutely brutal. That's wild. I mean, I'd stare at this screen all day. But 30% is huge. Obviously, this guy's a super maxed whale. I mean, 30, almost 40. What is that? 40 billion power. All charm 16. T3s. Right? He doesn't have the white ones. See, here's the next version of the skin. That's crazy. Beautiful thing. But yeah, maybe one day that'll be available to us, plebes. All right, so that's all I had today for experts. Anybody have any questions before I take off? All right, perfect, Joe G. Thank you very much for being here. All right, with that, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I know that it was a little bit spur of the moment, but it was really irking me that there was a lot of really bad information about experts out there. Not dissing on any of the other content creators that took the time to do this thing, but I believe that they had a very different objective in mind, which is kind of getting up to a certain level and thinking that the small player was so small that they were still trying to get to FC1. Agnes is not for you. Okay? Cyrille 100%. Get that alliance rally up for Bear. Get most of those so you can benefit in hero gear. Once you get her maxed out, focus on Holger so that way you can snowball into improvements and do better in arena. So that way you can eventually get even better hero gear, which is perpetual. It'll last you for the whole game. They don't die like hero gears in the widgets. Okay? And then if you are maxed whale, where you're the rally lead, you know, really you got to think twice, right? Romulus is the given answer. It'll take some time in order to max him out, but that's all there really is. You need just time in order to gather the sigils that are needed and do all the learning for it. Focus on that lethality and health stat for him. Everything else is a little bit more kind of flavor du jour, right? This one get more training. This one get more attack and defense, which is nice, but you can get that from a different hero for much, much cheaper. And then your rally capacity. I definitely focus on the last two if you had to kind of shortcut that. Someone said it's based on top up. Man, if that city skin is based on top of, I don't know. That'd be pretty terrible of the game to do that. I mean, they're already doing that, but top up is not a game for everyone. So that'll be unattainable unless you're in the 0.5% of the gaming community here, or you're really, really smart and you figure out another way. And if I do, I'll share it with you guys. All right, guys. Well, that's all the time that I had today. Thank you so very much for joining. I appreciate you very much. And until next time, stay spicy. Bye.